How's everyone doing today?
How you doing, everybody?
Good, good, good. This is Scrubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar. Today's date is November 5th, the year of our Lord, 2021.
That's right.
And we're here in our beautiful studios in Toms River, New Jersey. This is, again, Scrubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar. I am a board-certified reconstructive foot and ankle surgeon. I'm a doctor of podiatric medicine, and that's a DPM. And I specialize in surgery. I'm on staff at 5 hospitals. I do surgery in the hospital. We take care of ankle fractures, ankle infections, foot infections, cancers, vascular disease. You could go to my webpage, which Jeremy is going to tell you how to get a hold of us.
Yeah.
We if you're hearing us now live, you could call it, chat, come on to chat. We also, if you hear us on our podcast, you could also, if you hear us on our podcast, you could always you'll contact us through the webpage, or while you're watching it, if you're watching here in the podcast, go to the archived YouTube video and you can see our video.
And you can you'll also be able to see it on YouTube and Twitch and stuff.
Twitter,
but YouTube, you start getting used to that, and you can join in on the conversations with sending us chats and stuff like that, and we'll answer them right away. We are a podcast, so we're on video podcast too. So you'll get the sound, but you're going to miss out on a little bit of the show. So that's why we're saying go to Facebook or Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center Facebook page, or go to our YouTube channel.
Jeremy, put up our email address. You guys can send us an email too at it's Dr. Kachmar, Kachmar, at iCloud.com. So it's that's DrKachmar at iCloud, iCloud.com. That's right. For our podcast people. Send us a text if you want to come on the show. We could have you come on. We could send you a link. We could have you call in. So we would love to hear from you. So anyway, today,
and just so you know, for more information about Dr. Kachmar and all the things we talk about on our show, please go to JerseyShoreFootAndLegCenter.com. It's right up on the screen right now.
So, Jeremy, introduce yourself and tell me what that shirt's significance is. What is that? I have no idea. Is that a burning bush or
no?
What?
It's Star-Lord. It's a Marvel Comics.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Right. So, Jeremy, introduce yourself, who you are. What? That's your little technical difficulty here.
Technical difficulty. I got a spam.
All right. So, Jeremy, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm your old pal, Jeremy. You know me. Dr. Kachmar and I have been doing Scrubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar for years now, and now we're bringing it to everywhere you are. All over the world. Good. So with our podcast and our video podcast, and so there's no way you can miss us at this point. You can join us. Like Dr. Kachmar said, you want to call in, the topics that we talk about, if they mean something to you, we really want to hear your points of view. And you can do that. We'll figure out, we'll give you the phone number, or we can also Zoom you in. We'll send you a link, and then you click on it's like Zoom.
Right.
And we'll have you right up on the screen if you need to.
Great. Well, Jeremy, thank you very much. You've been great. And I just want to
thank you.
Thank you very much. There you go, Jeremy.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So anyway, let's start. So what we're going to talk about today, we have a couple topics. We're going to talk about monoclonal antibodies. Right. Monoclonal antibodies are something very interesting.
And why are they important?
Well,
that's what we're going to talk about.
Right.
Too.
They can save your life. They can save your life. So a couple of things here. We're gonna show a video clip. And for us podcast people, you could hear it. This is a clip of Governor DeSantis discussing monoclonal antibodies. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go to the clip first.
Okay.
We're going to watch that, and then I'm going to cite a CNN report of September 17th. So monoclonal antibodies, just to fill people out, are these? It's an injectable, either injected or infused into your body, into your arm. And this is made from the antibodies that will go after coronavirus. So people who are getting them are people who before the vaccine came out, before the vaccine came out, they were getting it and saved a lot of lives. Yeah. And people
it'll keep you out of the hospital, keep you out of the cemetery.
According to the CDC and the FDA, this is not hocus pocus. 70% people, if they have 100 people come in who ready to be hospitalized, You give them the monoclonal antibodies, according to their statistics, 70% of people, no hospitalization, no death.
Right.
That's an unbelievable, it's a great product.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it's out there. And so what we're going to tell you,
It's a saving grace for all of us who have been through this pandemic, and
Right.
we're all just sick
Right.
and tired of it.
right? And it's great for breakthrough infections, but it's also people who never got vaccinated. So, but we're going to give you a premise, because just like everything else, there's a dark side to this.
This
There's
is
a political,
this is a hot pocket political
Right.
topic right now.
now, and not enough people are knowing about it. So we're gonna tell you that, number one, it's available. What is it? It could save your life, even if you're vaccinated. So you're listening to this podcast. I don't want to say pull over, but make sure to look at this and follow this on our Facebook or YouTube, because this is something that could save your life, your father, your mother's life, your children's life. This is very important stuff. So Jeremy,
this is it Governor DeSantis? Is that
no
it?
Governor? Yeah, Governor
Governor
DeSantis.
DeSantis, and
So talk about it.
He's upset pretty much about Biden and why he decided he was going to cut in half the supplies after he promised the full the full amount.
So let's go, as they say, used to say, let's go to video.
Let's go to the videotape.
Let's go to videotape.
All right, so
go ahead. Let's see if we do this here.
Let me see. This is our
the Biden administration has dramatically cut the share of First of all, they seized control of the supply nationwide, and now they're dramatically cutting what's coming to the state of Florida. That's wrong. That is dead wrong. And why are they targeting Florida? Biden, he loves talking about Florida. He hates Florida more than anything. And this is absolutely going to hurt people. We're going to work like hell to make sure that anyone who needs it, we're going to figure out ways to be able to do. I hope to have an announcement on that soon. But how could you cut it given all the things that we're seeing on the ground? And you don't even you can look at the hospital data. It's very compelling. Just talk to people that have gotten this treatment. Talk to them about how they were feeling, where they feared this was going to end up, and then what happened after they were able to get the treatment.
We'll talk about
it. It's been something that's benefited thousands and thousands and thousands of Floridians. They say there's no supply problem, but they're doing this anyway for temporal equity. I think it's because they fear a similar wave happening in some of these other parts of the country later on in the year. But if they don't have enough of it, then that's mismanagement on their part, because this is something that's very significant. I know they did another deal with Regeneron, but they should absolutely be sourcing the needs. Now, fortunately, our sites are down probably 40% from the peak in terms of the people going
40%,
in, because we have fewer people that need it right now, which is good. And hopefully that continues to go down. But why would you cut it now, given the success that we've seen? So we're going to absolutely fight back against this. We have ways to go around it potentially. And so hopefully we'll be able to finalize that. But cutting these treatments is wrong. And there's a time for politics. I get that. But, to be so obsessed with trying to kneecap Florida any way you can, that you would take away life-saving treatments. I'm sorry, something should be beyond politics.
Right.
I don't know who the hell is going to our sites. I don't know their political affiliation. We just want to help people. And obviously Joe Biden feels differently.
Okay. So let's
get that off. There we go.
Yeah. So let me. That's powerful what we just said. Let's just talk a couple of things. One is, just so people know, before Biden got in, monoclonal antibodies were being pushed as a godsend. Okay, my aunt, this is before the vaccine came out. My aunt was 74 years old, was really sick. She went to the hospital. She couldn't breathe. She really didn't want to be in the hospital. They infused her at that time, took a few hours to get monoclonal antibodies. She went home and she did great. She was sick for a couple of days, but she lived. I think she would have died if it wasn't for the monoclonal antibodies. Right. I have patients right now who I don't treat them for the monoclonal, but I was treating their daughter. She had an ankle injury, and she's telling me both parents were vaccinated, had breakthrough infections, coronavirus, had the virus, vaccine months ago, completely vaccinated, got sick, and they were sick. They weren't, they had symptoms. What they did, they were lucky. They were able to go to the hospital as an outpatient, get transfused, get this medication, and they're doing great. So that's now what has happened is the centers, the hospitals, the states, doctors were able to call up the manufacturer and get as much of this stuff they wanted. And it's multiple injections, and it's got to, and these people are sick who are going to get it, or it's not prophylactically. So you got to have the right environment where, you got to wear a mask and everything. Now, the Biden administration has done two things, in my opinion. Well, first of all, they, like Governor DeSantis says, they took over the distribution. The federal government, Biden's administration, the White House has taken over the distribution of the monoclonal antibodies, and they basically are rationing them.
Essentially, they took away the playground ball. So the kickball game is over, and you get to play when you do what we want.
Right. Now, I read the articles, and they said, well, this is because the Delta variant hit, and we're running out of supply. We had to ration it because we only have so much. Okay, if that's the case, then if that was Trump, can you imagine? Hey, he's a bum. He why doesn't we have enough? If Trump was in office right now, not one person would be denied monoclonal antibodies. I bet you any amount of money. I bet you they would be making that stuff where they'd be able to ship it to other countries.
But the thing is about
so they don't have enough on top of it.
No. But
that's his fault.
That's not proven. That's not proven as far as I'm concerned. That they don't have enough.
You think they actually have enough and they're holding back?
Oh yeah.
That's
well.
Let
me explain why.
I didn't go down that road.
It's the numbers. Like they and this isn't harsh or anything like this. It's just
that's even more of an allegation I'm making. That is harsh.
I'm repeating.
I'm saying they're
say.
incompetent and maybe some politics. You're saying they're down route.
If they were going to send this number of stuff,
somebody's knocking on the door. I think it's the FBI. The FBI and IRS. They're gonna both get your legs and split you in half. So go ahead.
So if they were going to send the full number anyway, right? Why cut it in half when all these places are in jeopardy?
No, they're saying they don't have enough.
No, but see, they already said they were going to send out a certain amount because they knew they had enough. Now these things start, the Delta virus.
Well, they said they ran out because so many people were asking for
it. But they never gave more than they should have. They only cut it down in half. They're not running out.
No. Yeah, but before. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. But also remember, they didn't have any say in the matter. It was the companies, the drug company was shelling it out, and there was no problem. Here's the other thing. We just listened to what's her name, Jen Psaki.
I can't get it up, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what she said, we just listened to it. And we're going to try to, I don't know if you could pull it up, but so we can't. But when I was listening to it, and I might be wrong, but you guys could fact check me.
A reporter actually.
When was that? How long ago was that?
That was probably around September too.
Okay, so this is all. So what she said, they asked her about the how much, and so what Psaki said was basically in September. In August.
The reporter said that they were only being withheld or by 50% in red states.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what DeSantis said too. So it's obvious that it's supposedly the allegation is it's only being withheld in red states, and not in the states that are not red, and also that they went from 100,000 doses being dispensed in August to like 150 now. I mean, that's 50,000 more. I mean, that's
nothing.
I mean, that's nothing.
That's nothing.
So let me go. This is a CNN article, Jeremy. This is a CNN article. I'm listening to this. So it says, and this was September 17th. This article came out. I just want to give you, because this is November already. But an investigation by CNN shows that there's a challenge to find monoclonal antibodies. Patients said she's having a challenge. Many patients who qualify for the drug say their doctors never mentioned them to them, even though it has been nearly a year since antibodies were first authorized by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. They're the only treatment for early COVID, and studies have shown that they can dramatically reduce the risk of hospitalization and death. Now, this is CNN. For all you liberals out there, this is your gold standard. This is right from your people,
right?
Not mine. But anyway, federal government has made efforts to educate doctors. Okay, so blah 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 blah, and so here I'm just going to go through this. So here it says, if patients do manage to learn about antibodies, they can face another challenge. As COVID-19 numbers surged this summer and early fall, some hospitals and even community groups rose to the occasion and started helping large numbers of patients gain access to the drug. But some major well-known resource medical centers say staffing and space shortages have prevented them from offering more than a handful of treatments per day. Now, let's just kick on that. I'm the president of the United States. You come up to me, go, hey, doc, President Kachmar,
yeah,
we got the monoclonal antibodies. It can help a lot of people, but we're getting shortages at the hospitals. People getting burnt out. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fire those people if they don't get the vaccine.
Yeah.
How about we even get more shortage? Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying, listen, I'm just saying, this is how Trump would listen. I would
in that Jen Psaki thing. And this goes to your point. She even said, let's not worry about the monoclonal antibodies because they only help you once you get COVID. They don't help prevent COVID. And so that was her excuse for just dropping the subject. And that's reprehensible. And considering all the seniors and anybody who have those
right. You know, get. What are you saying?
Yeah. With the senior citizens who have their, diabetes or anything that's going to make them more subjected to the COVID. I'm getting all blumbly here.
No.
These people are still a threat to this virus, and they could have stayed out of the hospitals. They could have stayed out of the cemeteries if they had gotten the monoclonal.
Okay. Right. So listen to this one. Let me just finish keep on with this. So this has exposed flaws in our healthcare system that we need to fix. This is Dr. Lindsay Braden, an infectious disease specialist and associate professor at Harvard Medical School, who probably trashed Trump, by the way. I don't know if he did or not. I shouldn't say that. But this is something we can do better and should do better. How about the White House should do better? Okay. And so at a White House briefing at end of August, Fauci, President Joe Biden, senior medical, implored doctors to use. So it's the doctor's fault. They got to use more. But and it says here, this is what they say, could reduce the risk of hospitalization or death by 70 to 85% of the patients.
Yeah.
Okay. 75 to 80%. This is understand. I'm just going to, Fredgie said, we want people out there, including, I'm just going to continue. Oh, so when asked by CNN, this is Dr. Fauci, when asked by CNN, this is really, why more doctors and healthcare centers aren't getting antibodies to their patients. Fauci said, I can't explain it. Well, I can explain it because they can't get it. They can't give it if they can't get it.
Yeah, if they can't get it.
I can tell you why they can't get it, Dr. Fauci, because you're not giving it to them.
Yeah, you're holding it back.
I mean, I'm sorry, but what?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, are you, so the FDA has issued emergency use authorization for monoclonal antibodies drugs made by 3 pharmaceutical companies. Okay. And I'm not even going to tell you, and the government purchased the drugs, which are free to patients, and delivered intravenously or by shots. So I'm just going to go here. What is going on here? I'm getting hammered with my phone. It's I'll never get these phone calls except when I'm on the phone.
Oh, yeah. Same with me with the spam risk.
And I'm just going to this here, cousin nurse. I mean, you can read the article. This was an article in CNN, and we'll post it. In fact, Jeremy, we posted. I gave it to you. You probably posted it. So if people want to go to my Scrubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar, my Facebook, we have the full article in there. You guys could read it. Jeremy, make sure we have it there.
Yeah.
Let me see.
What is it? The CDC advisors endorse
no
kids.
No.
Oh, at least 89%. Okay, I see it. Of vaccinated American adults will qualify for. Doctors are often unaware.
So here's an interesting thing. There's another way. Mayo Clinic patients test positive for Corona-19. They are screened to see if they meet the eligibility requirements for monoclonal antibodies, and if they do, the hospital reaches out to them. They don't even wait. Okay, yeah. And this is a huge treatment protocol that is being jerked around by this government. You just listen to DeSantis now. I mean, they're playing games. I mean,
and it's the same old. They only give you the same old excuse, no matter what your argument is. It goes back to the vaccine. the vaccine, and now the booster. And just to show you how ridiculous their arguments are, they want you to believe in this vaccine that once you get the 2 shots, well, first it was once you get the 2 shots, you'll be A-okay. Now it's this booster they're talking about, and you need the booster to pump that percentage up to near 100% now. But what it really is, it doesn't make any sense when the speaker for Biden, Jen Psaki, she was just reported yesterday as contracting COVID-19. So if you're in the White House and you're supposed to have gotten both shots and a booster like every other day, as Biden would want you to have, how is she getting COVID-19? How is she getting it if all of these things are supposed to work? It doesn't make sense. Their arguments never have made sense, because it just if you're getting the vaccine and you're getting the booster and you can still get COVID, what's the point in getting them?
Well, so you know, here's the thing, Jeremy. You make a good point. I mean, I think we're not anti-vaxxers. You got vaccinated. I just got my booster. I think it's important, and I think first of all, we keep on saying we don't believe in mandates. It should be up to the patient and the doctor. It should be up to the pediatrician, the parent, and the child. I mean, some of these children, you know, should have some input into it, especially, you know, they're older, and some childs want. But here's the thing with the monoclonal antibodies. Okay, it works. All right, it could save people's lives. It has saved people's lives.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Now, again, are there any downsides to the monoclonal antibodies? Nobody. I don't know that. So that's something, but I haven't heard anybody say that.
But we haven't been using it enough.
Well, either we haven't used the vaccine long enough either to say the same.
I mean,
thing.
I do know the monoclonal antibodies don't just help prevent COVID-19. They help prevent other diseases as well. 3 specifically, the ones that we're giving out to our people when we have the supplies will help prevent at least 3 things, COVID-19 included. So,
oh, really? You read that? Oh, I didn't
yeah.
read it. So, but let me just get the train thought here, because continue on. So, you know, you say why? You know, what's it necessary? Well, that argument. I mean, I think that what you made your point is that the vaccines are not 100%. Number one.
Yeah.
Okay. And they say, oh, it's 90%. Who knows? You know, and that's another statistic that I have a hard time finding. It seems to me like, you know, I'm trying to query the CDC. How many people have died or been hospitalized with COVID after they've had the vaccine? All right. So I don't know. But let me tell you who's, if you're listening to this, people out there, who is eligible. Jeremy, I'm going to give you this eligibility. Are you trying to find out? Because whatever you have on that screen. So the eligibility, let me give you the eligibility here. So not all people qualify for antibodies. By the federal rules, only patients with mild to moderate COVID-19 symptoms who had symptoms for no more than 10 days are eligible in addition to patients who are high risk for getting sick with COVID, which include people who are over 65 or people who are 12 and older with certain health conditions. Now, those conditions could be overweight, which includes about 75% of Americans are over 20 are overweight, according to the CDC and prevention. So almost everybody's probably could get the damn antibodies.
I can bring up that Psaki thing.
Okay, so let's listen to this, people. Jeremy's going to bring up this. So
we got 3 seconds of an advertisement.
Just throw it out here. So,
Dr. Kennelly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So let me
For my business.
3 seconds of this ad.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can do
Efficacy of vaccines. I do have another question about the president's COVID plan. He promised on September 9th that he was going to send 50% more supply of monoclonal antibodies to states. Yet, the Biden administration is cutting supplies in red states by 50%. So, for example, in Florida, they were expecting to get 70,000 doses this week, which they say they need. They're only getting 30,000 doses. And this is not just for unvaccinated people. In South Florida, half the people who are seeking this treatment are fully vaccinated. So why is the Biden administration cutting these supplies.
That's not accurate. So let me give you the accurate information. First of
Now,
all,
hold on
we
a
are
second.
increasing.
Let's pause that.
Yeah, go ahead. So what? So go ahead. So
she's
talk.
saying the people that are getting COVID have already, the reporter have already gotten the 2 vaccination shots and the booster, and they're still getting COVID. So that's why they need this monoclonal antibody.
Monoclonal, right?
Clonal antibody.
Right.
And here's Jen Psaki going to tell you, oh well, your facts are wrong.
Our distribution this month by 50%. In early August, we were distributing an average of 100,000 doses per
In
week.
August.
Now we're shipping an average of 150,000.
What date is this? When is
doses
this?
per week.
This
This is
Over the
September.
last
Okay.
month, though, and one thing that I think people need to understand for clarity, facts. I know you're like facts.
Snarky,
Is that
right?
monoclonal antibodies are life-saving therapies that are used after infection to prevent more severe outcomes. So clearly, the way to protect people and save more lives is to get them
No shit,
vaccinated
Sherlock.
so that
No,
they
no.
don't get.
We don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that. Yeah.
Let's get her off the screen.
Yeah, get her off the screen. I can't handle her. So here's my thing. You know, if it was Trump, here's the thing where it's like there's more. This is so. If this was Trump when he was in, they would have crucified him. You know, why aren't you getting
Oh.
these? You're putting your politics in front of lives.
What are you holding back, Trump?
Right. Why isn't CNN and Costa and all those people
Why are
saying
you killing American citizens?
right.
and all
So-
of that.
right? So how about why is this stuff is life saving?
Yeah.
Not only for people who didn't have the vaccine, but for people who did.
Yeah.
And it's not me. Listen, this is an article from CNN criticizing, saying, "Oh well, it's the doctors; they're not ordering it." And then you got the governor of Florida
Mhm.
saying he thinks it's politics.
I guarantee
I mean,
you.
come on. I mean,
Jen Psaki has COVID-19 right this second.
she's
okay?
getting the monoclonal antibodies.
She's getting a monoclonal
I guarantee you.
antibody.
And
I
everything else.
guarantee it.
And who knows whatever else.
She's elbowing people out of the freaking way to get first in line.
Right.
Forget
But
the American people. Jen Psaki comes first.
yeah, but you know, the poor slob in the CNN article, which is posted now on this is their own article on our Facebook. Woman couldn't get her father the monoclonal antibodies. Thank God he didn't die, but who knows how long he suffered, how much more comorbidities. Here's another thing. You get the monoclonal antibodies. I'm not saying I know for sure, but if it stops the disease process in its tracks and slows it down, maybe you won't have that long haul disease. We don't know. They're holding it back. Why isn't Biden out there instead, and Pelosi and Schumer, instead of worrying about, passing this friggin' infrastructure bill? I mean, we're getting into politics here. We're getting down a rabbit hole.
You can't help it.
Why don't we
Yeah.
build factories and make this monoclonal antibody where it's got so much of it, we could ship it to friggin' China.
Yeah.
And we should, I mean, it infuriates me to no end.
Because nothing makes sense in our country today. Nothing. And then when you question it, they give you some other loadable crap that doesn't make any sense there either.
Right. So let me just clear. So here's the deal out there. People on our webpage, people on our podcast, people watching us live on YouTube and Facebook. If your loved one is sick, push for the monoclonal antibodies. If you don't know where to go onto our webpage, go onto our Facebook, Scrubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar. Jerry will make sure that this CNN article is there. We'll reference it. And in the CNN article, they actually have links to the agencies you could call up that will give you a list of centers in your area. Now, what I would do is, especially if you're one of the 81 million people who voted for Biden, make sure that you call Biden. And the same thing with Murphy in the state of New Jersey. If you're sick, especially if you're a veteran, because all the veterans who died in a nursing home, which is another issue I want to bring up.
Right.
You might want to call the state of New Jersey, call the governor's office, and ask them where I could get my monoclonal antibodies. All right, because they're free and they should be available. And if they're not available, and your father or mother or brother or sister dies from corona, especially if they've had the vaccine and they did not or were not offered or could not get the monoclonal antibodies, which according to the CDC and FDA could save this percentage 70 to 85%. I'm just giving those numbers right out of what I see.
Yeah.
Then you know, what, why? You should be raising holy hell. And for everybody who voted for these people, you know, I just say, think about what you know, these have consequences. This is really what you want. Is this how you want the country? You know, red man bad tweets, but in the meantime, look what we got. Look what we got. So anyway, you know, there's people who are dying right now because they're not getting enough of this monoclonal antibodies.
Okay,
what are we going to say?
I just posted the CNN article. It's right above our current live stream.
Oh, the one that I sent you.
Yeah, the one that you sent me.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
people
yeah,
out there, again, if this is your arc, if you're getting this, you know, not today,
check
right
it out
now,
on our Facebook Live, our Facebook page. It's Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center's Facebook page. Just go there,
right,
and it's right above our most recent stream.
You know, I appreciate the CNN article, but they're, you know, they're I don't understand what they're blaming. They're blaming Fauci's blaming the doctors because, well, we can't get it. We can't. I mean, I don't prescribe it. I'm a foot and ankle surgeon, but I'm a human being, you know. And I mean,
they're running out of people to blame.
I understand.
Eventually, it's just going to be, oh yeah, that's us.
Well, like
It's
you know,
us.
and you know what it is? It's pure. I say it's just. I don't wish anybody to get sick, but that woman, what's her name, Kasaki?
Yeah,
she's sick
Kasaki.
now,
Yeah.
and I guarantee you, she's got access to the monoclonal antibodies.
Of course. Of course. She's probably they were already in her briefcase.
Yeah. I would be if I was one of those reporters, the first thing I would ask is, "Hey, did you get that?" So anyway, let's just shut this down. But here's the thing.
Well, here's the way I just want to if we're going to end this, I just want one more point.
Yeah, go ahead. No, absolutely. This is what, you know, a big part of the show.
I mean, this is to describe the excuses we keep getting. And they're blaming everybody. They're blaming the old tired baddie Donald Trump. I mean, Biden was just in Glasgow, Scotland for a climate thing. He slept through most of it. They have him on film just sleeping away. Then when he finally got up on stage, he's apologizing to Europe and everything that about the previous administration. He's still doing it. He's still blaming.
Well, Barack
all
Obama
the
did that too.
Yeah,
Barack, that's right off the page. That's right out of the page of
Yeah.
Barack Obama. But go ahead. So go ahead.
No, but I mean, how often are you going to play the Trump card until finally it's just, you know, listen to the news, buddy. Everybody is blaming you.
No. Listen. You know, I don't think. Again, yeah. Listen, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Him and you know, it's just, you know, it is. As far as I'm concerned, you know, this is fed up by it. No. Listen,
Yeah.
this is an evolving scenario. We're in the fog of war right now. I mean, you know, there's a revolution going on in this country. There's going to be more votes. Listen, we're strictly for peaceful, you know, change. Just like in Virginia, I believe in 2022, you know, the House and Senate are going to change. They'll probably impeach Biden. You know, it'll go on and on. I love, but I want to change the subject right now. Listen, Biden should have never been president. He's too old. Yeah. He doesn't have his fact. And I can tell you right now, I don't think he's that good of a politician, to be honest with you. I think he's a career politician. You know, I would have rather have, I'm telling you, I keep on saying, I would have rather have Bernie Sanders run against Trump, and we would have had two populists, but one was to fix things with communism, you know, socialism. The other one was capitalism. I think that would have been a more robust, honest, straightforward argument, and we could have, you know, peacefully. Not that it was anything's going to happen in the future, you know, but that's what we need to do. We have to have a situation in this country where we say, hey, listen, we don't want to go that way. This is what we want. I mean, right now, I think Virginia made that very clear. They don't want to have, you know, a socialist agenda. But if you look at the left, and, you know, how they're looking at it, you know, they have a lot of different regions. You know, people are corona or out of work, so they just don't get it. And you know,
our voters came out in stride, man.
Right.
In this,
in New Jersey, you're right,
to help dig us out.
Well, look at New Jersey, because we're digressing here. But look at New Jersey, the truck driver. Now I don't know if they're going to bounce him out, but he took Sweeney, who was the president of the Senate, New Jersey Senate. Yeah. Now I don't know if they're going to get this. This truck driver spent like, I don't know, $200. You know, I mean, it's like
it came out of nowhere.
It came out now. I don't know. Yeah. You know, they maybe going to find some more votes and throw him out. You know, but Sweeney had all kinds of aspirations of being governor. Anyway,
there was some shady stuff with the votes again. But
you know, my thing. I want to end this and just say, listen, the whole idea about this is we can criticize, Biden, we can criticize, the administration, but there's a double standard in my opinion all the time. If this was Trump's was right now, they'd be blasting the horn that they should be doing better. They should have more monoclonal antibodies. There's perception that they're rationalize it. But you know what? I could say, okay, maybe the Biden administration is doing the right thing. Maybe there are supply chain issues. Maybe, a lot of things. But you know what? I'm not going to give them the benefit down anymore because they lied to me for 4 years, for 2 years. Did you hear that just with the dossier now, the Steele dossier? I think they indicted that guy. Now the dorm's coming out and say, yeah, it was all bullshit. You can't lie to me. After, I've had, dated girls who, after like the fifth lie, I mean,
Really?
hey, I'm not going out with Jimmy. And
You're very generous.
But my point is, after a while, you're like, I mean, the sky is falling down.
Right.
Maybe they're honest and right now, but I can't believe them anymore.
Yeah.
I don't believe what they're telling me. I don't believe any of them. And that's not, and it's their fault. It's not my fault.
The Patriot Purge on Fox Nation. It's a 3-part documentary by Tucker Carlson Originals, and it shows you what really went down at the supposed Capitol invasion, and it's jaw dropping. I recommend everybody to watch it. You want to talk about lies, ladies and gentlemen? Go watch the Patriotic Purge.
Right. Well,
Patriot Purge.
Here's the thing, Jeremy. I remember, what was his name? Nadler. Who's the ran the judicial branch of the Congress? Yeah, Jerry Nadler. And I remember him coming out of those.
Good old Jerry.
And he would come out and he would say, "I got personal information that Trump, colluded with this and that." And I'm like, okay, wow.
Where is it?
And I remember I'm like, if Trump's dirty, man, let's get him the hell out of here.
Sure.
I mean, if I,
we're not praising anybody willy-nilly.
No. I'm like, okay, then show us the evidence and then throw that bum out.
Sure.
You know what? It turned out to be bullshit. Durham came out, the Senate, they all did. And so, getting, how much more I can't believe him anymore. And I'm not saying, go to violence and everything, but when you tell us something, can't believe it anymore. So right now, don't get mad at me if I'm saying, Jeremy, you're saying the monoclonal antibodies aren't coming because you're holding it back because you guys are doing political shenanigans.
Yeah.
Did Murphy, I said this before, the nursing home patients, 8,000, I want to talk about this, but was it politics or was it just, they were trying to do the best thing? So again, I want to change the subject in a minute, but what are you going to say?
No, but you're right. It's crazy now. It's you don't know what to believe from 1 second. It's lies. Even Maggie. I never used to watch
That's
the
your
news.
wife. Yeah.
My wife, Maggie. I never used to watch the news at all. Back in the day when I was a Democrat, I felt like we were the good guys until I no longer felt that anymore. Now I'm glued to the news. I can't turn away because it's like watching an accident. You know why people slow down on the highway?
Check out chats. Yeah.
To have it. Yeah. We got a little light will flash.
Oh, okay. So,
Maggie even said to me, she's surprised that I'm watching this on the level that I'm watching it. Because I told her I was surprised too.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This is like the World Wrestling Federation.
Right.
You can't see anything crazier.
No.
Than your news.
No. So we're going to talk about another thing, and I want to talk about some
Patients of the
Patient week. So the other thing, so we had the election in New Jersey because we're in New Jersey right here, and a lot of people, I think they're still counting. I don't know. Did the Republican did he concede? I don't even know if he did or not. I don't know what's going on. I haven't watched it. But one thing I do know is this. And I've been, when coronavirus hit, first of all, about our governor right now, Phil Murphy, he was a big contributor to Barack Obama's presidency. He gave a lot of money. And then when Barack Obama became president, I think Murphy became an ambassador. He gave him a payback. And then Murphy became the governor of New Jersey. Corona hit. And we had I think at least 8,000 people died in nursing home in New Jersey. 8,000. So, similar things that happened in New York. Now, this was a time where if you go look at what was passed, executive order, the governor, which is the executive branch, passed executive orders that the hospitals had to take these people and bring them back to the nursing homes, and nursing homes had to accept them. It was an executive order. The reason supposedly was that everybody was worried about the hospitals would become overwhelmed. Remember, they were talking about rationing care.
Yeah.
Now, all these people died. So then what happened that following summer, which is pretty interesting, is that the governor commissioned, listen to this, Jeremy, commissioned an investigation of the nursing home deaths. It cost, I read, between $450 and $500 million. Let me repeat that. $500 million. Now, if I'm wrong, somebody tell us, send us a text, email us, whatever. That was done not this July, in June and July, but last June and July. Okay. They came up in the study. I read it briefly. It's basically that the nursing homes didn't have good staffing, and they cleared Murphy. You know who did the study? It was one of Barack Obama's, what do you call it? Executive, not executives, but associates.
Right.
So so again, I go back to this, and I don't want to criticize because I wasn't there, when the governor made the decision, both governors. I give them the benefit of the doubt and say they were trying to do the best thing, Jeremy, right? We talk about that. I'm a Christian, and I believe they did the right thing, and they felt, but based on what they knew. Now, some people make the argument, not me, I'm not making the allegation, but that they did it because of political, reasons to hurt Trump. Only they know, and God. And when they go to the pearly gates, they're going to have to answer to that if that's what they did.
God help.
So what I'd like to see, though, is in another investigation, a
deep dive investigation
about the nursing home deaths in both states, but definitely, New Jersey, but both, and to really see, because let's just say there was no malice. Should we really have the executive branch have so much power?
Yeah, you're right.
Over life and death.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to, now there's some states that they're taking away the executive power from the administrator just for this reason. I mean, for the executor. So there's some laws that were passed. You could do that. You could say, okay, if there's a medical emergency, state of emergency, the governor can't do this, 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 and this. All right, okay. So maybe, I'm not saying he has to be thrown in jail, but maybe it should be more on a medical panel. Maybe it should be, there's other ways to, I'm saying, Jeremy,
Yeah.
I'm saying, but we, if they just throw it and say, oh, it was a nursing home issue and that's the end of it, and there wasn't enough staffing, I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is that when this became the whole country was a national emergency, and I think New Jersey's still in a state of medical emergency. So he could still, whoever the governor is, could then have sweeping, powers. Just like when a snowstorm's coming, they could say you can't go on the parkway.
Right.
The parkway's closed at 6 p.m. If you're on there, you're going to get locked up. Now you may not be able to go on the parkway anyway because there's like 10 foot of snow. And we don't, complain about that.
I like how you double back on your own point.
Yeah. And then, and then like, now here's the thing. I'm going to say this because there's two sides to the story. I have a nursing home director who's a patient of mine. Didn't have any debts. He really, rose to the occasion, and he was able to do it. So there's probably.
I just sent you a behind the scenes video of what was happening in nursing homes during COVID.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You got to watch that later.
So I'm very sure that, part of it was staffing. I mean, when the coronavirus was going on, nobody wanted to work in a nursing home.
Right.
And I say my other pet peeve about the nursing home debacle was that, in the hospital too, you were dying. You couldn't go see your loved one.
And this was back when there was no vaccine. There was no anything. They didn't have a treatment for COVID. So it was respirator and then death. And that's it. But they slapped together a bunch of these emergency ordinances, and the ones that were the real victims, as with the virus, were the senior citizens, and it's criminal.
Right. Well,
yeah.
They also at the same time said you can't be sued. I think people are suing these nursing homes, but you had the ship up there. You had that, it was called the Hope. I forget the name of the ship up in Hudson River. You had,
We lost it.
you had the, yeah, I know the, what's the arena in, not the Brendan
The
Byrne,
Javits.
Javits Center,
Yeah, yeah,
which was all tripped out and they hardly used it. They could have put the seniors there.
Well, the Javits right across the way is where the cruise ships leave from. So,
Right.
that's where it was.
Listen, I'm just, listen, I don't want to, you know me, I'm very mellow.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that these people, you know, Phil Murphy might be the greatest guy in the world and he might be trying to do the best for what he's got and what he could do. And same thing with Cuomo, you know, I don't say they're evil people. I don't think, you know, I told you my possession.
We'd like to think that no one is.
But I
Yeah.
don't, if
On
you,
this
but
level.
here's the thing, when you have an investigation, which is your, you know, you spend $500 million,
Yeah.
which why did it cost that much? Number one, it takes that much. I could have went in there give me $1 million. I would have told you, the
It's
nursing
not
home.
chump change. I'm telling you.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
that much money to investigate that, I don't get that. I mean, it's very important. It's, you know, people's lives, but so, and then the people who suppose, I read the article again, I don't know how true it is, but they're saying that these were operatives, associates of Barack Obama. So, I mean, you know, I mean, you're not gonna send the fox in to guard the hen house.
Yeah.
So again, I'm just throwing out. So we talked about monoclonal antibodies. Now, I don't know what the status is in this state, and I don't know, you know, I don't know if it's coming out, but I would say that my criticism of monoclonal antibodies and also the criticism of the nursing home is, number one, is that the executive branch has too much power. And again, not the executive branch in the state of New Jersey had too much power over deciding where those nursing home patients went. It might have been a different outcome if it was spread out. And right now, in the federal government, the president, which is the executive branch, is deciding where the monoclonal antibodies go. Again, should not have that power. Should not have that power.
Never have had the power to take it over, to take over these supplies to begin with. That is insane. And especially then, once you take hold of them, you're holding them back.
Right.
You get that power. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
So it's criminal.
Right. Well, it's not. I wouldn't say I wouldn't go that far as criminal. I would say
will.
no. Well,
No.
you could say right. So when the IRS and the FBI,
I am not Dr. Michael Kachmar.
right. Listen. Well, I'll give you the blindfold and the cigarette when they execute. You know.
Right.
But what I will say is that I think that we need to really, Democrats and Republicans really need to reevaluate how much power that the executive branch, you know, has in the state and the federal. And I tell you, you know, if you think about history, if you look back when George Bush and Cheney were in there, Cheney made the executive branch super powerful. That's when they started to butt heads with the Congress.
Yeah.
And then Barack Obama got in. He was handed the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
Because he had unbelievable executive powers. And of course, then, you know, and
Trump.
And he lost, and Trump came in there. I mean, you know, so there's a great book. It's called, and I would recommend people read it. It's called Defender in Chief. Defender in Chief. It's written by John Yoo. And he contrasts Barack Obama and Trump as far as, you know, who is more constitutional. Actually, the book was probably going on 2 years now. Okay. And maybe a year. And he basically says Trump was one of the most
predates the pandemic.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
And basically what he says is that, you know, Trump was one of the most constitutional presidents. But forget about Trump and Biden. It talks about how the executive branch works. Talks about impeachment. Talks about, you know, the filibuster. Talks about all of that. And it's a great educational book to understand the system and the branches, the three branches, how Congress works, how the Senate works, how the executive branch works. And I think it's a great read, and people should really read it. You know, there's also another book coming out, which I'm trying to get my hands on. It's the book with Peter Navarro, and it's called Trump Times. The Trump Times, I think it's called. Just came out, and people know Peter Navarro was Trump's right-hand man. I think he's Harvard, you know, PhD in economics. The guy's brilliant. And, you know, he has a lot to say about what went down. So anyway, let's just, so again, just to recap, monoclonal antibodies. If you are sick, you have corona, you're obese, you're 65, I don't care what you are. Don't take no from your doctor. Go online, try to find it. You got 10 days. Once you get diagnosed, you get, you know, and I don't care if you even have bad symptoms or not yet. Go try to hunt down the monoclonal antibodies call whoever you can. Go look at our CNN post there, and call the pediatrician, call it whatever, and don't take no for an answer. It's out there. It could save your life, and if you didn't have the vaccine, it's even more important to get the damn monoclonal antibodies. Okay, right?
Yeah.
Now, of course, we agree, get the vaccine. I don't think it should be mandated. Personally, I would say get the damn vaccine. Now, the only place I have, trepidation with is with the children. And I don't know the answer there. Jeremy, your son's going to get it.
Yeah. We're gonna give it to him. We told him that we would only consider it if it was going to prevent him from moving on in his academic,
So you're not
career
worried
and all
about if he
that.
gets corona, he'll have any kind of bad problem.
I mean, obviously he's 15. He's not going to have bad problems. He
Mhm,
probably had
mhm.
corona and we don't know it.
Mhm.
But it's the vaccine, of course. And as a parent, you worry about long-term effects and yada, 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 and all of that. But just
Put our
everybody
thing up,
knows.
Jeremy. Put our Jersey Shore phone leg. So if anybody wants to get a comment or get a hold of us, there's our Jersey Shore. It's up on our
And I just want to, Dr. Kachmar just mentioned the book by Peter Navarro.
what's it
The
called?
book is called In Trump Time, a Journal of America's Plague Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
want to read that. First of all,
gonna grab that. Yeah.
With the coronavirus and the vaccine, I want to make a point is that we're an opinion show. I'm not making any, allegations one way or the other. I would say go to the pediatrician, talk to the pediatrician.
It's also nonprofit. I want everybody to know as well. We're not making a dime off of this.
No.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, though, everybody else should get vaccinated. Now, also, if your child is morbidly obese, if you look at the CDC, I agree with everything. I think, but my thing is, like, they're pushing these pregnant women. They're going to fire them if they don't get the vaccine. They're gonna if you have antibodies already, and you don't want to get the vaccine, they're going to fire you. So I think that's dangerous, the mandates, especially now when we're trying to get everybody back to work. Like I said, we don't have enough. Let's just say that the CNN article is accurate, that we don't have enough people to administer the monoclonal antibodies, because you have to go to the hospital. Now you're sick with corona, so you're infectious. You got to go to the hospital and you got to get infused. It takes hours. You got to get 2 or 3, there's 2, I think you get 2 medications at one time. And you need an IV bag and all that. But my point is, if you're firing people, you're setting up a scenario where you lose 20% of your people.
If they can find people to administer the COVID-19 vaccine, they can find the same people.
Well, but no, that's not my point. My point is that why create an obstacle, even if it's small, to the administration of a medication? What I'm saying is Biden's and the administration's mandates, what they are doing is causing the workforce to be diminished, especially in hospitals, police departments. There's a certain amount of people, police, firemen, NFL players, they don't want to get the vaccine. So, I just listened to one guy on the radio. It's like, well, if they don't want to get it, fire them. Well, okay, then, so, you're going to have, so fire them. And then when you get the cocoa, we call it the cocoa. When you get the cocoa, right, and you can't find a doctor to give it to you or a hospital to give it to you because they ain't got enough work staff. You know what I'm saying? It's like the toilet bowl. It's like the water going around and around and around and around. It's just dumb. So let me just listen. My name is Dr. Michael Kachmar. I'm a board certified reconstructive foot and ankle surgeon. For the people on the podcast, you could go to our webpage. It's Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center.com.
It's right on the screen if you're watching.
And they can't see it. The other thing is, drop us an email at drkachmar@icloud.com. Okay. We're here. We're live every week. We do this show. If you don't get confused, we have a lifeguard show we also do. And we're always available. So let's hope and pray for the governor. I guess, Phil Murphy, let's pray for him. Let's pray for Biden. I know you don't want, I don't know. We're not there.
No, I have no harm against Biden. I wish the man would do better than he's doing. Well, even Donald Trump said that the other day. He has no harm towards Joe Biden. He just wishes he would do a better job.
No, well,
Yeah.
I just don't like the news media and people who assassinated Trump for
Oh,
so many
yeah,
years.
Yeah.
And oh, so if you're gonna listen,
bloodless
listen,
assassination.
yeah,
we called it,
listen. I
right?
think the news should be pricks. You know, they're the fourth, branch of the government.
You
They should
gotta
go
push
after
to get
everybody.
that
But why?
story,
But go
yeah.
after this guy. Where are they going? They're not going. I mean, come on. You know what I hear?
No, because
You know,
it's
listen, this is what I hear. This is what I hear. Biden, there's no monoclonal antibodies.
Right.
People can't get it.
We're going to open up the mic for questions. President Biden, President Biden.
Yeah. There's people. We're getting bum rushed at the border. What do you? What do you say? What do you say?
What do you say, President Biden? Oh. Can you get a snore on that?
Yeah, we got this one here. So I can't mess with that. That thing could be addictive.
If you got a snore every time we say Sleepy Joe.
No, but it's just that my point is that be consistent. You know what? Go after everybody.
Yeah.
Go after everybody. Don't go after anybody. One of the two. I mean, I think that what the American public are getting sick of is the one-ended bias. Like I stopped watching Saturday Night Live because all they did was Bush. They
I stopped it too.
Crushed Trump all the time. I get sick of it. Like how about I like when they made fun of other people too. But everybody's everybody on the left is a star. Everybody on the right is
comedians need to walk the center line. That's it. If you're picking
no, I disagree. No, listen.
I don't.
When you say center line, no, I think they should go on, but one end to the other. They should criticize the hell out of.
If you're a political comedian, then yeah, you pick your side and you.
You do both. You should do both about both. Just don't.
But,
anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
We that's another thing. So let's talk about case of the week, and we close the door here. We get called in for these cases. I just had 2 consults today. So I just want to throw out. So, again, because this is a medical show and we want to talk about a little bit and this is where I just throw this out because I got called in to see a woman. She had severe ankle and foot pain and they actually couldn't even walk. She was admitted to the hospital. And just last night, she's 82 years old. And anyway, I get called in. So what do you think's going on? What is the problem? And you say, well, what could be going on? Well, what I examined her, she has poor circulation. She is not getting enough blood to the leg. Now the leg is warm and everything, so that could be part of the problem. But she could also have what's called a plantar fasciitis, heel spur syndrome. Remember we talked about this? So
they're painful as anything.
Right. Right. Yeah. Right. You had
I had one. Yeah.
Right. So what we did is I gave her a shot. We ordered X-ray. I looked at the X-rays; they're normal. But I ordered an MRI, make sure there's nothing else going on. And we ordered a vascular consult. Somebody look at it. But my point about that case, why it's an important case of the week, is that you could have heel pain, okay, and it may not be a plantar fasciitis. In other words, an orthopedic problem. Something with the ligaments and the tendons, and it could be poor circulation. I had a guy come to me, I don't know how many years ago, maybe say 5 or 6. He was seen by 3 or 4 doctors, had an MRI, had multiple shots in his heel, had orthotics, inserts, and still was hurting. And he came to me, and when it came to me, you could see the heel was starting to change some color, and he had no pulses. Right. So he had a blockage in his artery.
And when you say change color, what color are we talking about?
It was getting kind of like purplish, dusky.
Okay.
Like you're not getting circulation,
Gotcha.
And kind of was easy, but the other doctors nobody. He was at a big orthopedic group, and nobody checked the circulation. Nobody. And
conveyor belt medicine, folks.
Well, it's institution. It was the institution. It was the institution that they and so what I did is I sent him
keep me locked up.
Yeah, I sent him to Jersey Shore and he got a vascular intervention. And I think he thanked me. I don't know. But who
thank
knows?
God for guys like you.
Yeah, yeah. So
without you, all you got is that institution, and
right. Well, that is, and so
you as a patient, you can feel like you disappear into them. That's what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
You need a super specialist like Dr. Michael Kachmar sitting across from me. This man, he likes to say this about others, but he's forgotten more than what would he say?
Oh, well, I don't know about me, but like I'll say some people
Ah.
they've forgotten more than you ever learned.
That's it. But you're one of those guys,
I don't know
Mike.
about
Yeah,
that.
no, you are.
Well,
Yeah.
so the thing is I think the point of that conversation is there are things that look like one thing, but there's something else. What is it that the fox in the sheep clothing?
Yeah. Wolf in
Wolf.
sheep's.
Yeah. So you always gotta have in your mind what's called differential diagnosis.
Yeah.
So like you go in there and you got this a tumor growing out of your head, right? It's like right in front of your eye, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
a third nose. And you go in and the doc says, well, that looks like,
Did you stub your toe this morning?
well, it looks like a tumor.
Tumor.
But you
It's not a tumor.
you gotta also ask, what's the differential diagnosis? And people say, well, what do you mean? What's differential diagnosis? That means that sometimes we're not sure what exactly it is until we either do a biopsy or take x-rays or advanced studies. So we have differentials. We say, okay, you know what, Jeremy? It could be A, B, or C.
You're finding a different point of view.
Well, you're saying it just,
Essentially,
it could be, listen, if I see a tumor, I take an x-ray
Mm.
or I see an ultrasound, I see a mass. It could be a ganglion cyst, which is one thing and
Right.
treated one way. It
Right.
could be a giant cell tumor of tendon sheet. That's treated another way. It could be a fibroma.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, these are the things that, so how do you know? So I'll put in a note and I'll tell the patient, listen, it's one of these three things. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
And then how do you know? Well, you could get an MRI, you could do an ultrasound, you could do a biopsy. So those are the things that we do. So, and a lot of doctors, they're just kind of like blinders on. And, and when they come to me, I'm like, well, did they mention this? No. I had a lady come in for a second opinion. And this is this is the second case I want to give. She came into my office. She had a bag of orthotics. These are inserts that go in your shoes.
Mhm.
And she wanted to come in because she thinks she needs a different pair. They're not working because she still has pain. Right?
Right.
I looked at them and I'm like, they all look great. They all look great. So I said, let me check your circulation. Now she's seen 3 or 4 doctors.
Right.
So we do a quick test on her circulation. She goes, nobody ever did this to me. I'm like, so they're not even looking for something else.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me.
But it's also their wheelhouse. Do they have the eyes that could notice them?
Well, they're doctors. I mean, if they're doctors, they should. I mean, where was their training? I mean, come on. That's like saying.
I'll give you, for instance, my niece. No, she's not my niece. She's my goddaughter, little younger cousin. She's 20.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
I got her hold of her MRI because I wanted Dr. Jasper to look at her back because she's into like softball and all of that.
Right.
She's very physical,
Mhm.
and then she's going to college and all that. Well, she's going to a doctor who gave her an epidural, and now he wants to give her a bone scan, and I'm like, okay, well, I just want Dr. Jasper to see your MRI first, and let's see. So I showed it to him, and he's like, "No, everything looks fantastic. All the discs."
What did Gabe say? What did Dr. Jasper?
He was like, the discs look all healthy. The kidneys.
How old's the kid?
Look great. She's 20. And she's thin as a post. She's healthy.
Right. So what?
He says, wait, he gave her an injection, and I says, yeah, and he says, well, where did he put it? There's nothing showing. I mean, she has a touch of arthritis in her spine. No degenerative disc disease, but he could see that because his eyes are better trained than whoever she was going
and
to.
So what did he recommend? No bone scan?
He says, take some Excedrin to cut or we can bring her in and we can do a radio frequency ablation.
But did he want to
take it away?
But did he see the bone scan?
No, she's going this week to get the bone scan. I told her, listen, just for your own peace of mind, go take it.
What did he say about the bone scan? Because you making another point here. I just want to throw it out.
I didn't mention the bone scan.
So, okay. Well, you should. So
I didn't know until afterwards.
Well, let me tell you something about a bone scan. We used to use them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So just so you know, bone scan is basically we inject you with a radio isotope.
Is this the same as a bone density scan?
No,
it's not.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, bone density is you're actually looking at the density. In other words,
Right.
So it's like an ultrasound kind of thing. It tells you how thick the bone is.
Gotcha.
A bone scan is this. What it does is they have this fluid. It's radioactive. It's radionucleotide.
Right.
Okay, it's titanium or no, technetium 99. Technetium 99. What they do is they have a scanner. It's basically a Geiger counter. You know, you ever see the movies where it goes, so they have one of them, but it shows up on a screen. So you lay there and as they inject it, well, you could do a couple ways. They inject it, you come back in 2 hours, and then they do a scan. Now, in 2 hours, all of that radionuclide goes all through your body, and it should be in your bladder because you're going to pee it out. It gets all out of your body.
Right.
Because they put it in your, but if it collects in the bone somewhere, it's either cancer, infection, or trauma.
Right.
So where there's a lot of inflammation, it'll sit there, it'll suck it up.
Yeah.
Now, what I used to do is when I did a bone scan, I would do while they're injecting it, I wanted to see the scan.
Right.
So, because it'll be picked up in the soft tissue, so you can see inflammation too. So I would do I forget the name of it, but it's a different kind. It's the same scan, but you know,
I do know her other doctor was wanting her to have it without any cause.
Well, here's the thing. Let me get back. So we don't do a lot of bone scans anymore.
Yeah.
And the reason why is what we do, which is why I'm saying, why did he do we do now, instead of that, is we get an MRI with contrast.
Yeah.
So they get it's not a radionuclide, but it's a little bit something different. So we give them the injection, and then we give an MRI. I think it's safer.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
Why didn't he prescribe an MRI with and without contrast?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, I'd have to drill down, and I'll ask Gabe about this because you just threw it out, and I didn't do my research. But I haven't gotten a bone scan in years. I used to get them on babies. I mean, it's safe.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. And there are. I think if you did an MRI and it's negative, and a CAT scan is negative, and you're concerned about an infection, you get an MRI. And I think maybe the cancer doctors still do it. I mean, they do PET scans to see where the cancer is. And a PET scan basically is they inject you with sugar, fluid, and the tumor cells actually suck it up, and then you look at it and it lights up. Maybe there's a radionuclide.
I didn't mean to take you off topic.
No, but I don't know why.
I wanted to prove there's some doctors will not do. Will do something that you don't expect, and like, why is he doing that?
Yeah.
Why is he doing it? And that's why I said it.
Yeah, and the young girl, like I said, that's an interesting thing. And maybe the other doctor likes the bone scan. He, in his hands or her hands, he feels confident about it. And maybe I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier than an MRI. Well, I should say easier, but an MRI, you got to sit there for 45 minutes. So I don't know. I mean, they did have an MRI. I didn't see anything.
I mean, she's young enough. There's no reason why she couldn't just have with and without. I mean, and then you have all your answers right there.
Yeah. I like I said, for osteomyelitis, we used to get it for osteomyelitis. We used to do it for a lot of things. I now kind of rely on the MRI with contrast, if I'm looking at a tumor. But that's a good. I'll have to do a little research and see where it's a bone scan is applicable. And again, it's radiation,
Right.
So just so everybody, and the radiologists, they have to have it. They have to have it in a special container, because it's radionucleotide.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like when they come out, it's boiling up.
Right.
They wear the big gloves and everything. So
the claxons go off as soon as you open it up.
Yeah. So yeah, but I want to go back to differential diagnosis. I just want to make sure, differential diagnosis is an important concept in medicine. And just like when I go in the OR, I have plan A, plan B, and plan C, just in case, especially with trauma.
Yeah, you're thinking way ahead.
You got to. You got to say, so okay, what if I get in there and this is this or that's that? I mean, you have to have these plans.
Cover your bases.
It's just like with an airline pilot. They got the manual. I can't really, look at a manual when I'm in the operation. Okay, nurse, open up to page 9.
Right.
And I mean, we shouldn't have that. But that's why you have the instruments there. You have, what you need. You might have another surgeon there if you're expecting, like they're going to do a back surgery and they got to go through the belly to the back. They know they're going to hit arteries and veins. They have a vascular surgeon who operates with them. Same thing when they're doing back surgery. You might have a neurologist, a neurosurgeon in with the orthopedic surgeon.
Right.
It's like, why? Well, because
covering bases.
Well, yeah. There's things that need to go on there. So the differential diagnosis, I want to throw it out there. I think it's an interesting concept, and I think people should really look at it. One other case of the week, and we'll go because we're over in an hour now.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, this is we talk about children. I love that shirt. So that's supposed to be is that supposed to be hair on your chest? By the way,
No, it's like a comet, like the symbol of a comet.
That's a comet. Okay,
Well,
people can't see it
crashing down.
People can't see it on our podcast. You might want to go to our YouTube video and check it out, Jeremy.
And this is his auxiliary costume too, so it's like it's not as mainstream.
Jeremy wears costumes here, even when So
I'm a comic book guy. I'm a big kid, Yeah.
So one more case of the week, and this is important because this has to do with children, and we're very concerned about children. If you have a child, and usually we start seeing this pain. They come in our office between 8 years old and maybe 14, and in between there somewhere, and they got foot pain and ankle pain, and it's activity related. They might be walking funny. They might be limping. They can't run. Somebody takes an X-ray, urgent care center at the hospital, ER.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, there's no fractures. We don't see anything. And, say, take some Tylenol, and the kid gets a little bit better. And then, maybe the winter comes or whatever, he's not working out. He changes his sport or doesn't do anything. And then the pain comes back again. You're like, it's nagging. Don't let that go. Right. And the reason why I'm telling you, this is there, and people could write this down. There's a thing called tarsal coalitions. Now, what a tarsal coalition is, and we can't show it on the screen right now, but what a tarsal coalition is, Jeremy, it's where there's bones in the foot and ankle that are connected that should not be connected. Can you pull up tarsal? Yeah, so pull up tarsal coalition. We'll show you on the screen if you could do that. That'd be great. And a lot of times these kids will have it, and it may hurt them a little bit. It may not. It comes and goes. But here's the thing. If you don't take care of that, and it's easy to take care of when they're young, usually it's a surgical, you can remove it. Sometimes we put them in orthotics, inject it, but you could surgically remove they're called CN bars or calcaneal talar, fusions, and save these people tremendous amount of problems down the road. I get them coming in when they're 30 and 40, and they've been misdiagnosed or never diagnosed, and they got all kinds of arthritis and deformity.
Screen, you can see.
Oh, can you see the screen? Oh, it's up there. Oh, let me see, Jeremy. So what do you got there?
Here, let me go.
I don't think that's the tarsal tunnel. Oh, is that no?
This is it. Yeah, because it said tarsal. What is tarsal coalition?
Oh, there it is, tarsal coalition. So it's where two bones are fused together, and there's two. There's one called CN bar, and the other one is calcaneal talar. So you guys could look it up. It's TARSAL. That's tarsal, and then coalition.
Right.
Okay. And the tarsal coalition, and you could go, if you're a podcast, go to our watch our live stream. It's archived on Facebook. Go to Scrubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar, or look at us on our YouTube channel. And so if your child has that and the x-rays were negative, well, you need an MRI or a CAT scan or somebody who knows what they're doing. And I can tell you right now, the MRI is really good. I would start with the MRI, and that usually rules it in. Radiologists are pretty good picking that up. Sometimes it's very elusive. It's hard to see on an x-ray. It really is. It can be easily missed if the x-ray is not done exactly in the right position. See, in my office, we do what's called weight-bearing x-rays. We have a special machine. It costs about $3 million. No, I'm only kidding. Well, it costs a lot of money, and we take the x-rays when you're weight-bearing. Your feet are on the ground on the x-ray machine, and then we take special angles, and we could tell better with that if there's a coalition. Regular radiology that you have in the hospital or the urgent care centers, they just lay on a table. They're good, but they're not. I'm a super specialist, so we have super special x-ray machines, techniques, right? So, but an MRI, so if you don't have access to a super specialist with a weight-bearing x-ray machine, by the way, that's another thing about Dr. Michael Kachmar. I have weight-bearing x-ray machines.
You got your own shit.
Yeah, my own stuff. You might want to get an MRI, but tarsal coalitions in children, I had a couple of them in the past 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I had about 2 or 3 of these patients come in my office, and you want to jump on these. You want to get these taken care of. And don't let a child with chronic pain go. you know, and again, get a differential diagnosis. The guy's going to say, or doctors going to say, well, it's plantar fasciitis, it's a bone, you know, whatever, tendonitis. So what else can it be, doc? I heard this guy on the radio say it could be tarsal coalition. Hey, you know, oh yeah, that guy, he's talking about monoclonal antibodies too. He's full of crap. You know, so right.
Yeah,
So
these
anyway,
kids with their crazy hula hoops and the pet rocks.
yeah, well, we're all so anyway, we're gonna sign off.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be here next week. So let me just throw it out. My name is Dr. Michael Kachmar, board certified reconstructive foot and ankle,
That's right.
right? And rear foot, doctor of podiatric medicine.
Master of the lower extremities.
Right. I'm on staff at least 5 hospitals. We do surgery in the hospitals. We take care of patients.
If you're at the Jersey Shore and you happen to be in the hospital with need of something below your knee, ask for Dr. Kachmar.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Because he makes himself available like crazy, like no other doctor I know.
Right. We try to be there.
Yeah.
Jeremy, how about contact information for everybody one more time?
Yes. For more information about Dr. Kachmar and all the wonderful things we talk about on Scrubbing Up, all you have to go to Jersey Shore footandlegcenter.com. We're also a podcast. Look for us for wherever you can find podcasts. Type in Scrubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar and we'll pop up.
Right, Spotify,
Audible, Spotify, iTunes,
iPad. I mean, iPhone, not iPhone. Apple.
Apple, yeah, anything.
Right,
anything.
And Facebook. What's the two?
Yeah, the Facebook, it's Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center on Facebook. We'll archive our shows there as well, and YouTube.
Okay.
So,
and Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center.com.
That's right.
Dr. Kachmar.
What's your phone number?
My phone number for local people is 732-269-1133. 732-269-1133. Give us a call if you can't get a hold of us. So, Jeremy, we are going to sign off here.
Yeah.
And listen, thank you, everyone. We'll be here next week. We do these Fridays, the medical show. Tuesdays, we do the lifeguarding. All right, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.